This is the Canyon Spectral on CFR, a very rare bike, and I've spent hundreds and hundreds of miles on it, and I think I finally got it figured out. It's not an easy one, but I'm going to give you my insight on it, pros, cons, and I'm also going to talk about the lower price models, the CF7 and CF9. Francis here from E-MTB Review. If you're new here, consider subscribing because we are going to review a whole lot of e-mountain bikes and all the components, racks, and accessories that support this category. $10,500, a lot of money, but it's really one of the cheapest ones in its pedigree. Why? Because it has a full carbon frame, full XTR, carbon wheels, the best components, and it has Shimano and this 900 watt hour battery. 900 watt hour. So it's really an incredible package what Canyon was able to put together. In Europe, they have about 6 models. Canyon's big, a German company, but in the US, they only have 3, CF7, CF9, and the CFR. And I'm not sure if the CFR has hit the market yet because I'm seeing coming soon on their website. So what makes this bike tick? As I said, this one is top shelf components, but in its core, we have 155 millimeters of travel rear, 150 front. We have a 76.5 seat angle, a 65.5 head angle, and 440 stays on mullet wheels. So an intriguing bike for sure. It doesn't follow the traditional mold of steeper seat angle and slacker head angle. And it's taken us a while to figure it out because it has more travel in the rear than the front. And the seat angle and the head angle is not quite slack. What powers this thing is the Shimano EP8 motor. What you see in, I say, 70-80% of bikes right now. It has that knock that when you're coasting on the downhill, you'll hear a little bit of a knock. And because this chamber, the battery chamber is so big, maybe you'll hear it a little more. What really sets this bike apart is the battery and the total weight. So the battery is 900 watt hours. 900. There's only the Norco that can come close to this one, and I'm going to do a shootout between these two, battle of the 900s. So the 900 battery is quite a bit more than the traditional 700 that you see on all the Levos and most of the top end bikes now, and it is 10 pounds. It is a heavy beast, so it is quite a responsibility when you choose to put this on your bike. Something they did really well is they've made the battery very wide, but the height of it is quite short. So it's so stealthy, right? You know, a lot of bikes right now, like the Trek analog bikes, the Treks and the Specialized, you know, they're about this thick. So this thing hides its girth quite well. But when you are on top of it, you see, wow, it's a big bike. It kind of sets you back because this thing is so wide and the down tube is so wide. One thing they had to do to fit this long battery in here is they had to tilt the motor, and they have just a cap. You bolt it on here and you put a cap, this protector down there, and it works quite well. It's not the easiest to take on and off. I was having problems before. Yeah, there's a little learning curve because the cable, the main battery cable, it has to be inserted there perfectly so it's not in the way, and there's a rubber strap that holds the protection. But once I settled in, I said I never take my battery out anyway. It's just hassle-free. It doesn't make noise. It's just in there. So it's not an easy bike to figure out because it is so huge. The battery is so huge, and it's not easy to consume a 900 watt hour battery. You know, on my first 20 rides, I would always end the ride with 3 bars or 2 bars at best. So I was like, man, why am I carrying all that battery when I can't even use it? I get so tired. And it's not light. 51 pounds is not so bad, but I think what's happening on this battery is it goes up to here. You know, they have a 720 watt hour battery, not sold with this model. The US market, they just chose for 900 batteries where it fits. and this last two parts has a battery, so it is weighted here, so it makes the front a little bit heavy. So I'm always curious, well, man, what if I had a 720? What if they could make me a special one, like a 500? Then this thing would be like 45 pounds. So I'm a little bit torn about that. And then the travel is a little strange. 155 rear and 150 front, and it's not slack enough. It's 65 and a half. So they were aware of their weight and the wheelbase, and they kind of steepened it up a little bit compared to modern bikes. Also, they have another more rowdy bike, so they didn't want this to infringe on the property of the other Canyon e-bike. It's not as agile as the Levo, Gen 3 Levo, and the Score and the Urbea, so it's a little bit of a different bike for me. But I'm going to give you the pros and cons and my true discoveries about this bike. So the first pro about this bike is the incredible value that it delivers. $10,500 is not cheap for sure, but it's competing with $14,000 and $15,000 bikes given what it has. Full carbon, a 6.3 pound frame that's super stiff, carbon wheels, Reynolds, a brand name, a good brand name, Fox Kashima stuff, Fox Float X, and then Shimano XTR. Just there's no need to upgrade. Maxxis tires is what it comes with, so it's pretty dialed. And the fact that it has a 900 watt-hour battery, that's more than all those other, the high-end Trek, Santa Cruz, and Specialized. And so that translates to the other lower price models too. The CF7 is $6,000 and the CF8 is $7,000. And wait till you hear about those bikes. They're incredible as well. The next pro of this bike is it is beautiful and it is dialed. If you look at the frame, flat matte, black, and gloss, they really blend in. Everything about it is fluid. The fact that they hid the girth of the battery is pretty nice. So a really a nice package, and it translates to the cockpit as well. Very clean cockpit, nice cables. They tucked the cables in here, and it's a looker with the Reynolds carbon wheels as well. The next pro is obviously the 900 watt-hour battery. It's a huge battery, and it is packaged in this 51-pound bike, and that is pretty darn good. There's a Norco as well with this kind of battery, but that one is a little heavier bike and just a little more travel, and that one is 56 pounds. So quite a bit of difference at the same price, around 11. In fact, that one's a little more, $11,000. The next pro is the wheels and tires are really quite good. These are Reynolds, very nice Reynolds wheels. Very nice build on the spokes. And you have nice tires, Assegays, and the HRs, pretty much the standard. So the next pro is it has good details. They have it pre-dialed. 34 tooth chainring, 165 cranks, so you can actually help, and you can actually distribute load between the chainring. A lot of people do 32, which I think too small for a assisted bike. No hill is steep enough that you need that. The handlebar is nice shape. 780, 40 stem, and most important for a Canyon, it's traditional, meaning it's not a one piece. In the old days, the CFR, the top end, had a one piece, which is just say no to that. So hats off to the US guys for getting that. The Fox transfer post, traditional binder bolt here. So the details are all there. And the last pro of this bike is the ride quality is planted, it is calm, and it is reliable. So it's confidence inspiring. So on the con side, I would say ride quality again. It's not quite lively and poppy. Not quite fulfilling the potential of all this carbon stuff. Maybe because the battery is 10 pounds or over 10 pounds. Agility department is not quite there. Another con is it has a 65.5 degree head angle. These days that's kind of steep, and you'll feel it. 64 is kind of a standard now, or 64 and a half, and there's no adjustability on this. And it's complemented by, or held back as well, by a fork that's only 150. I can't understand why it's not 160. I could change it to 160, and that would improve your head angle, but the seat angle will slacken as well. But I'll do it. I think that's the way to do this bike. The next con is it comes with 2.6 tires, and I just don't get that. The thing looks huge, when mated with these big rims. So it seems like a plus bike when really that's not what this bike needs. It's a mullet for a reason. Don't try to close the gap between the rear wheel and the front wheel by unmulleting it. It becomes floaty and kind of mushy. I think once I put an aggressive tire here. This is one of the new Continentals. I believe it's a true 2.4. Man, the bike became a little more lively, so I love that. And the final con I would say is these cables. These cables, they're on the headset. They were able to pull it off because the headset is so huge, but really I had to do a lot of seat post adjusting, and you can't even push this cable. So you have to feed the cable through when you're adjusting extending the seat post out, and that was just a pain in the neck. So this other cable, it worked fine. I never had to touch it. But whenever you have to touch the cable, that one I did not prefer it. Okay, so bottom line, this has been the workhorse of the stable. When I had a big ride, when I was feeling tired, get on this thing. And whenever I had the real desire to explore, this is the one. And what's really cool is I just went to Downeyville. Downeyville, as you know, is a big shuttle downhill. I believe 4,500 feet to shuttle to the top. And I was there 3 days, and not a single time did I take the shuttle. 3 days of exploring, and you have to do this 4,500 foot climb in one shot, and I could do it no problem, and I could do it in turbo. In fact, I was almost as fast as the shuttle bus. The shuttle bus takes about an hour 20 to load up, unload, and get up there, not including all that waiting time. But with me, I was up there. I was pedaling from town in an hour 20, hour 10. So it was just an amazing experience. I was getting a workout. I saw so much terrain every day. So it was amazing. So, and then I just kept going. Unknown rides. We were going out into the abyss. This thing was the envy of all. The 600 batteries were dropped out. 700 were all on eco while I was on trail. I said, hey, I have a tow rope, guys. I can tow all of you. But it's hard to tow in very technical terrains. So that really is the crux of this bike. It makes the mountain bike, it makes the e-bike a true adventure machine, where you could just venture out, not have to carry 2 batteries or extenders. It's just dialed for what it has, 900 watt hours, and it's very reliable. And then for the budget conscious, if it was my money, I would go for either the CF7 or CF8. $6,000 and $7,000 is amazing value for the money. They come with Shimano. The cheaper one, $6,000 comes with Dior, a lot of Dior, XT derailleur. And then the $7,000 one comes with SLX. On the small sizes, and on CF7, they put a 700 watt hour battery, but the rest is 900 watt hour. So here's something interesting. If you want a 700 watt hour battery, you just don't anticipate the 900, just go for the CF7, and that's what they'll give you there. And because of that, the weight, you save the 2 pounds, and you have the same weight, around 50 pounds, for even lower spec components. They all have asagais and the key stuff anyway, race face wheels. So there's my honest scoop. The CFR, it's kind of a mystery bike, but I think I figured it out, and I really had 3 of the best rides of my life just this last weekend. Thanks a ton, guys.